Sometimes in life, you have to isolate in order to elevate. Now, I like to give real life situations that I've experienced that people can relate to.
Let's talk business. Let's just be real.
Welcome to the Mindsets and Assets podcast, where we reflect on our experiences, hoping that you can understand and relate, giving you that motivation that you need to help you along your journey. See, there's a lot of people out here that are suffering in silence, and we hope that they can resonate with us while allowing us to be a voice for them. I really enjoy doing this. Like, when I say I can have one supporter and be perfectly fine, I'm serious when I say that. This is calming and decompressing to me. I be under so much pressure as a male in society that I need some time where I can just exhale. I try not to cut scenes when I'm podcasting for two reasons. One, to be authentic. Two, I don't want it to seem too advanced, discouraging people from starting their own podcast. Now, I know some of my friends are gonna say, here he go with that smart stuff again. And so what? You're supposed to elevate in life. Think about it. From birth to now, you're an infant, then a toddler, a child, a kid, a teenager, a young adult. Let's go a step further. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third. If I'm not satisfied with my life, why should I keep living in misery when traditionally you're supposed to elevate in life? But anyway, today I just want to talk about becoming a better you, self-development, working on yourself. But hold on, public service announcement real quick. I am an actionable and assertive type of person. This means I might sound aggressive at times. That's just how I talk. You can tell in my demeanor that I mean business. I don't mean to touch anyone the wrong way or, calling someone out. That's just how actionable, how assertive I am. Like, I'm just straight to the point. I'm on go. But anyway, I feel like society don't praise working on yourself in the best way. You may ask, why do I say that? Well, you ever been struggling, but you determined you're going to do what you want to do, ignoring the fact that bills are due? Let me give you an example. You ever been struggling for so long that finally you reached a breaking point and you're like, man, I don't even care about that bill. I'll pay it later, just so you can spend money clubbing for a night? That's what I'm saying when I say society have you thinking that since you're struggling, let's forget about the struggle and dig ourselves into a deeper hole. Instead of us understanding why we're struggling, develop a plan of attack the situation. Now celebrate you overcoming that struggle or obstacle, but celebrate within reason. Don't put yourself back into a hole just to get out of it again. So, we have to admit that there's something within ourselves that could use change or that we need or could work on. That's one of the most effective ways to bettering yourself is to understand you first. How you plan to better yourself, but you determine that there's nothing wrong with you, everything good. Come on now. Understand sometimes in order to better yourself, you have to isolate yourself. But let me say that in a better way. Sometimes in life, you have to isolate in order to elevate. Now, I like to give real life situations that I've experienced that people can relate to. Now, back in 2021, I was struggling bad financially. I wasn't about to lose a house or car or anything like that. I was just living check to check. But it was because I wasn't managing my finances correctly. I was paying bills, but my priorities was out of whack. And it feels kind of weird talking about this because I dealt with this and didn't even tell nobody. Like, I suffered in silence, you know what I'm saying? Kind of embarrassed. I dealt with this and didn't even tell nobody. But I don't mind talking about it now because I feel like other people could be going through the same thing and they could benefit from me. They just have somebody to relate to. They just benefit from hearing that they ain't alone. Like, somebody been through the same thing that they have been through. But anyway, now I'm not putting the blame on my friends for this, but there's one thing about me. I'm not afraid to admit when I done messed up. That's part of self-development too. But check this out. I had a friend that was locked in somewhat of a controlling relationship for a long time. Their relationship was so controlling that he couldn't hang out with me. I'm not a bad person or anything, so that wasn't the reason. People just don't favor me because I tend to speak what needs to be said regardless of the matter, and I wasn't the best communicator. So it might have seemed like I was being smart. Well, me and his friend had been friends, I know, at least since 2011. Well, when he finally came back to the street, now I'm just playing. I'm like, welcome home. So we hung out all the time, like the old days. But every weekend that he was free, we were spending money having a good time. Now, when my bills were due, I'd have the money for the bills, but I'd wait to pay them because I knew me and my boy might be going out, that coming up weekend. And I just make a payment arrangement on the bill or pay it late. But I was going out with the guy. This is what I mean when I say the priorities wasn't straight. It's no blame on my homeboy or anything. We both were having a good time. But check this out again. This was the breaking point for me. I had got tired of struggling and my job was stressing me out. We have internal departmental issues going on, which I told management about eventually, and nothing happened. Now, I want to stop right here and say I'm not a snitch. You just have to face the elephant in the room sometimes. I can take heat for a very long time, but I'm only going to allow myself to get burnt for so many times. So now these issues been going on for 4 years, year to date. That's meaning since the animosity started till now, it's been about 4 years and going. I'll talk about those issues on a different segment, but I had determined that at this point, working for my employer for 30 years, then retiring, was not at the top of my list like before. There are some really good reasons why you shouldn't have that mindset if you're below 30 in age. I'll talk about that in another segment too. I'm telling you, I'm going to help somebody on this podcast. Somebody out here in the audience will see value from this podcast. But getting back on topic, I can't work that job for 30 years, but if I build my own business, I can invest and have money work for me. Now, understand, schools between 2000 and 2015 didn't focus on entrepreneurship. They kind of taught, or they really pushed that American dream. Go to school, go to college, get a job, work till you retire, then end up going right back to work. So in my mind, I'm like, you're working your whole life. You never really get to explore and enjoy life. So I started thinking, if I invest into passive income strategies, I can make money without actually working. And let me stop right there for one quick second. I want to go ahead and address this real quick. I know somebody is going to be listening or viewing this and they're going to be like, oh, you just lazy. No, it's not lazy. See, that's the problem. When we were growing up, all we knew was manual labor. All we knew was to go do something to make money. And even our parents instilled this in us at a young age. And I'm not saying our parents wrong for doing that, but you got to think about it like this. Hey, look, go cut the grass, clean the house, wash the dishes. So, our mind was always instilled, like basically the only way you can be something is to manually do something. But I'll talk about that at another time too. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want to make sure I stay on topic and get the point across. So let's get back on topic. And depending upon what income strategy it is, it can be residual. Things like renting property. And I'm not just talking about houses. This can be cars or anything that someone can benefit from. I watched this one dude explain how he rented a MacBook that had recording studio software on it, like Fruit Loops. Because if you ever book time to rent a studio, it can get expensive. So he was able to rent that out and make money off of it. I was impressed when I heard that. But a vending machine is another way that you can make passive income. I got 2 of them. So I was trying to figure out, how can I start my own business to better myself if I'm still partying every weekend with my boy? See what I'm saying? So if you haven't figured out by now, I had to isolate myself in order to elevate. So I told my homeboy respectively, listen, I'm about to go ghost. I got some stuff I want to work on and I need to focus on. We still cool, but when I start communicating like I used to, it's because I'm working on myself. Now currently, currently as we speak, I don't go out every weekend. I don't spend money like it's falling off trees. I pay bills as soon as I get paid. Then I look at what's left. I also don't live check to check anymore. Now, I don't say that. I don't want nobody to think I'm flexing because I said that. No, I just said that because I'm explaining my experience. Listen, I'm here to be a voice for someone who's suffering in silence. I'm not here to down anyone, but don't be afraid to cut ties to better yourself. Now, I didn't say kill a friendship. I just said isolate to elevate. Me and that same friend are cool right now. We've always been cool. We just been through, or I just went through an isolation period, and he understood that. You just need time to focus or work on yourself at times. And again, once you work on yourself, you can mingle back with the crew again. Because at this point, you should have learned discipline. So you can open yourself back up to things now that you know how to get involved before it can ruin you again. Hey, look, man, I love y'all. Just think about what we talked about today and see if it applies to you. If it do, just take time to create a plan of attack. Now, I didn't say start cutting people off right away, but understand that you have to know what you want for yourself and move accordingly. That's it, man. I'm out.